everybody and welcome to my channel. Today we are in my kitchen, which means it is time for yet another yummy yet healthy recipe. And the recipe that I plan on showing you how to cook today is called DAL or pulses. This recipe is made with a mixture of 5 different kinds of dals or pulses combined with the very simple traditional spices of India that give it that tangy, spicy, delicious flavor. Of course, I learned how to make this dal from my mom. This is sort of like a maa ki dal kind of recipe. I am crazy about dal, and this dal in particular takes me back home where my mom used to make a huge pot of mixed dal, which for some reason was never enough for me. The only little bit of tweaking I've done with this recipe is just to make it healthy. I have avoided all the dairy ingredients as well as all the non-vegetarian ingredients. The fat content is very low, as well as the salt is just there to accentuate the flavor in the recipe. So let me show you how I make it right after this tiny introduction. To make this dal, I have chosen 5 types of skinless dals or pulses of about same size to ensure uniform cooking time. Let me show you what kind of dals I'm using here. The first one is moong dal, or in English split mung beans. The second one is masoor dal or split lentils. And the third one is urad dal or split mat beans. And chana dal or split chickpeas, and tur dal or split pigeon peas. So these are the 5 dals I'm using today, and I will measure 1/4 cup of each and 2/4 or half a cup of one of these dals to make it a total of 1.5 cups of raw dals. After rinsing the pulses well with water, I add them to a stock pot of 5 quarts and let them soak in about 8 to 9 cups of water. And while the dal is soaking, I will go ahead and prepare the vegetables. We are going to need some onions. I prefer the yellow or white onions. And then a can of no salt added organic diced tomatoes. You can also use raw tomatoes. And then a jar of organic tomato paste with no salt added. Also some garlic and some serrano pepper. That's all the vegetables we'll need. Moving on to the spices, we are going to use some ground cumin powder, some turmeric, red chili powder or cayenne pepper, some freshly ground coriander powder, and of course Himalayan pink salt, my favorite. And now for the aroma and to tantalize our senses, we are going to add some whole spices. First up, some ground cardamom, some whole cloves, whole peppercorns, and of course some cinnamon sticks. Then comes my favorite part: peel, drop, chop, drop, chop some more, and drop it all in. Now add the tomatoes and then all the spices. Make sure to check the description box for the measurements of all these ingredients. And while we're at it, we'll go ahead and dump some whole spices as well and give it a good stir. Smells good already, and it's not even on the stove yet. And now our pot is ready to go on the stove. I usually put a big spoon in my pot before I cover it with a lid. I make sure to give it a good boil and then simmer it on the stove for a good 30 to 45 minutes. And it is time to check on our dal. Right about now, I almost wish I could just jump into a pool of dal. To make sure my dal is completely cooked, I usually mash some on the side of my pot. If they all mash well, I know my dal is done. At this point, you can enjoy your dal as it is or move on to the next step to make it extra delicious. This next step is called tempering, for which I will be using this organic virgin coconut oil, cumin seeds, and some thinly sliced onion. For this last step, I'll heat very little coconut oil in a pan. Then add some cumin seeds to the hot oil. And lastly, some of those thinly sliced onions. Cook the onions until they are nice and dark brown. Right before they start burning, add the entire mixture of this oil to the dal. Your dal is now done. And it is my favorite time now. Time to taste. So there you have it, that's how I make my dal. And I did want to apologize where I was not able to show how I added the tempering into my dal. My daughter came into the kitchen right at that moment and I got distracted. So basically you add the tempering to the dal when the onions are not really soft or pink or not very crispy black. You want to add them when they are like sort of dark brown, just about to hit that very black crispy level. You can also add fresh lemon juice to the dal. You can eat dal with brown rice, or you can have it as a side dish along with potatoes and vegetables, or you can just have it next to a big bowl of salad or just by itself. This dal is the perfect answer to all those people who wonder how us plant-based vegetarians get our protein. This recipe is also gluten-free, but for those of you out there who don't mind a little bit of gluten in their diet, can have this dal also with some roti or bread, or maybe gluten-free bread. Bottom line is it's a perfect dish to eat with anything as an entree or a side dish at any time of the day. I hope you will make this dal and enjoy it just as much as I do. That is all for today, but thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you next Monday right here on It's a Ghost Life. Until then, bye.